Following is a class from the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya-Lila, Volume 8, Chapter 20, Text 254 through 281, given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, recorded on December 17th, 1966, in New York.
क्रियाशक्ति प्रधान संकर्षण बलराम प्राकृता अप्राकृत सृष्टि करण निर्माण. So out of three transcendental propensities of the Supreme Lord, Ichha Shakti, Jnana Shakti and Kriya Shakti, the Kriya Shakti that is represented by or the controller of the Kriya Shakti is Sankarsana, Balarama. And with that potency, Kriya Shakti potency, the creation, both material creation and spiritual creation are effected. Ahankare Udhisthasta Krsna Ichhaya Goloke Vaikuntha Sige Cc-Shakti Dara. Cc-Shakti Dara. His spiritual potency is manifested in the spiritual world, Goloka Vrndavana and spiritual planets. Jaddapi asijya nitta Cc-Shakti vilas tathapi Sankarsana ichhayataha prakash. Actually, there is no creation in the spiritual world. The creation means it begins at a certain time and ends at a certain time. But in the spiritual world, there is no such beginning. But because we find the creation of this material world by the Kriya Shakti potency of Lord, therefore it is understood that the spiritual world is also manifested by the same potency, with the help of the spiritual energy. Sahasrapatram kamalam gokulakham mahatpadam tatkarnikaram tadhyama tad adantansa sambhavam. That original planet Goloka Vrndavana is described here in the Brahma Samhita just like a lotus flower. Mayadare sijete ho brahmander gone, jarupa prakriti nahi brahmanda karam. Now, so far this material creation is concerned, it is said here that by his material potency he manifests this material world and unlimited universes within the material world. Nobody should think that the material world has come out of nothing, out of void. No. This is confirmed in all Vedic literature and especially in the Brahma Samhita and in the Bhagavad Gita also it is stated, Maya dhakshena prakriti swati sacharacharam. So, material nature is not independent. It is a misunderstanding, a wrong conception that matter is working out of its own accord. Matter has no power to work. It is jararupa. Jararupa means it has no moving capacity or what is called initiative. Matter has no initiative. Therefore, matter cannot manifest in such a way without the direction of the Supreme Lord. Mayadare sijete ho brahmander gone. Actually, it is his direction, but material potency is help only, that's all. Jarahetu srishti nahi Ishwar Shakti vine, tati Sankarsana kare Shakti adhane. Jara, from matter there is no possibility of any creation. The Sankarsana is manifestation of Sankarsana. Balarama, he is the director of this material creation. ईश्वरेर शक्ति सृष्टि करे प्रकृति लौह जन अग्नि शक्ति पाए दाह शक्ति. Just like it is in contact with the fire, the iron becomes red hot and it becomes fire. Similarly, in contact with Sankarsana, this material energy gets potency and thereby the material manifestation is there. Etau hi vishwasya बीज जोनि राम मुकुंद पुरुष प्रधानम अन्य भूतेश विलक्षणस्य ज्ञातस्य चीशात एवं पुराणम. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the 10th canto, it is stated that this Rama and Krsna, Rama means Balarama and Krsna, they are the root of this material creation. And both of them enters into each and every universe and maintains that. Annantarastham paramana chayantarastham. This is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. Srishti hetu jai murti prapancha avatare, say Ishwar murti avatar naam dhare. For material creation, the expansion of the Supreme Lord, for the purpose of material creation is called incarnation. That is called avatar. मायात्मिका भरत में सवार अवस्थान विश्व अवतरी धरे अवतार नाम. Now all Vishnu expansion they are in the spiritual world and all of them reside there. But when they come into this material world, it is called incarnation. Actually, avatar, the Sanskrit name is avatar. Avatar means who comes down from the spiritual world. Avatarati means descends. Descends. They are not born of this material energy. They descend from the spiritual world. সেই মায়া অবলোকেতে শ্রী সংকর্ষণ পুরুষ রূপে অবতীর্ণ হইল প্রথম. পুরুষ রূপে the first incarnation for this material creation, the Mahavishnu. Sa-ikkhata, simply by glance, this material world began its activity. সেই মায়া অবলোকেতে শ্রী সংকর্ষণ পুরুষ রূপে অবতীর্ণ হইল প্রথম. জগৃহে পৌরসংভূ ভগবান মহদাদিভি সম্মতং সৌরসকলম আদৌ লোকস্য শিক্ষয়া. Adau lokasya shiksha, just before the creation, the Mahavishnu, he takes his incarnation and he puts his glance on the material energy and the creation begins. Addu avatara purusha parasya kala svabhava sadasad manasya drabbang vikara guna indriyani virat sarasthan charishna bhugna. Chadha avatar, the first Purusha avatar, Mahavishnu, is very vast. Just imagine how much great he is, his body is, that from his breathing all these universes are generating. সেই পুরুষ বিরজাতে করেন স্বয়ং কারণাদি সাই নাম জগৎকার. That Purusha avatar, the first incarnation of Purush, he lies down in the water of causal ocean, and his name is Karunadhi Vishnu. Karunadhi pare mayar nitya avasthiti virajar pare param brahma nahi hoti. Karunadhi pare, just on the other side of the ocean, causal ocean, this material energy situated, Virajat Pare, Parabhrame Nahi Goti. And this material energy has no entrance in the spiritual kingdom. Pravattate tattva jarastamasthaya sattancha missancha nachakal vikrama najapramaya kimuta pare karir anubrata jatra sura sura chitaha. The description of the spiritual world is that there is no rajastama. This modes of passion and modes of ignorance is not there. Suddha Sattva and simply goodness, pure goodness, without any tinge of passion and ignorance. So, pravattate jatra rajastamastayo sattancha missancha nacha kalo vikram. There is no mixed goodness, simple goodness, and nacha kalo vikrama, and there is no influence of time. This is the description of the spiritual world. There is no modes of passion, and there is no modes of ignorance, and there is no influence of time. And that means there is simply the pure goodness. And in pure goodness we can understand our constitutional position, we can understand what is God, what is creation, everything. These are goodness means prakash. Prakash means knowledge comes out. And so long we are in ignorance and passion, there is no knowledge. In ignorance there is no knowledge at all. In passion there is some glimpse of knowledge, and in goodness there is full knowledge. So the living entities there, they are full of knowledge. Therefore they do not come into this material world. And najatra kalavikrama. And because there is no influence of time, therefore there is no past, present and future. In this material world there is influence of time. Therefore we have got this past, present and future. So these things, of course, theoretically you have to understand, but these are authentic explanations from scriptures, Vedic literatures. At least we have to accept them theoretically. The spiritual world means that there is no ignorance, there is no passion, and there is no influence of time. Najatra maya kimuta pare, and this maya, this illusion is also absent. Kimuta pare hare anubrata jatra sura sura chita. And there in the spiritual planet, all the living entities, they are all surrendered souls or followers of the Supreme Lord. There is no misconception that I am Lord, I am God. There is no such misconception. They are all clear of this nonsense ignorance. Anubrata. They are always following. Therefore there is unity, oneness. There is oneness. God is one, and the living entities there, they are all followers, obedient of God. There is no influence of time, no influence of ignorance, no influence of passion. So that is perfect. That is spiritual kingdom, the description of spiritual, this is in from Bhagavad. And there are other verses in this chapter where this verse appears, that there are aeroplanes also, and the devotees and the women, they are just like lightning. See, that way there are men, there are women, there are aeroplanes, there are everything is there. The simple difference is that there is no influence of time. Influence of time there is no, that means there is no past, future and present, there is no death. Death is the influence of time. An old man like me is going to die. With that means the influence of time is being acted on this body. So after a few days or a few years, this must vanquish. So there is no influence of time. So there is no death, there is no birth, there is no ignorance, and everyone is obedient, everyone is happy, and their features of body is also exactly like God. In the spiritual planets, all of a sudden if you go, you cannot distinguish who is God and who is not. So, just like here also, when Krishna comes and he appears just like one of us. So, man is made after God. So far features are concerned, there is no difference between God and man. But the difference is only that God has no material body, we have got this material body subjected to the influence of time. When Krishna comes, he does not become old, he remains just like a boy, even when he is great-grandfather, because on his body there is no influence of time. Because his body is spiritual, therefore there is no influence of time. माया जे द्विवृत्ति माया प्रधान माया निमित्त हेतु प्रकृति विषय उपादान. This material energy is divided into two, pradhan and upadan. Pradhan and upadan. The whole total material energy is called pradhan, and the material elements are called ingredients, upadan. जय पुरुष माया पाने करे अवधान प्रकृति खवित करी करे विद्य आधान. Now in the Bhagavad Gita I have read that Mamojani Mahadbrahma Tasang, that it is stated there that Aham Bija Pradapita, I implement the seeds of living entities into the matter. So in the matter, the seeds of living entities, as we are, they are impregnated. As the father impregnates the mother, similarly, this material nature is just like mother, and therefore material nature is worshipped as mother goddess, Durga, Kali, yes. And this worship of the country, nationalism, that is also the same matter worship. Krsna buddhi kunapi dhatuke. So long we are not enlightened, we are worship of this matter, energy. And when you are advanced in knowledge, then you are worship of the Supreme. The Krishna consciousness means an advanced stage of knowledge. It is not in the material platform. Therefore, anyone who is in Krishna consciousness appropriately and thoroughly, he is liberated from material consciousness. Sanga Vishesha Bhava Asave Prakriti Sparshan Jeev Ru Bees Date Kaila Samarthan. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, there is this evidence. Daivat Khavita Dharminya Sasyang Junu Parapkuman Adhatta Bijam Shanusuta Mahattaptam Hiranmayam. So, from this version of the Srimad Bhagavatam, that the living entities as seeds, they are coming from the spiritual world. They are not products of the matter. Therefore, it is not possible to produce living entity with material chemicals and material elements. It is not possible. As some of the modern scientists, they claim that we shall now give life, or they advertise in that way. From this verse we can understand that it is not possible. Because these living entities, they are just like seeds, and they are coming from the spiritual world, from the body of the Supreme. Those spiritual and I am to say living entities are desirous of enjoying sense gratification. They are allowed to this material world. Others, they are in the spiritual world. Kalavitta tu maya gunayam adhukshaja purusha atahutena virjam adhatta virjam. There is another verse how the seeds are given within this material world. Tabe mahattatta haite trivita ahankar jaha haite devata indriya bhuter pucha. Now, here is a short description of the creation. The first material energy, then the seeds of the living entities are impregnated into that material energy, and then Mahattattva, from the material energy, this ego, false ego comes out. First manifestation of this material world is this false ego, Mahattattva. Trivida ahankar, jahaite devata indriya bhuter prachar. And from that ego, all these human beings or demigods or other living entities, they are coming out. Sarvatattva mili srijila brahmander gan ananta brahmanda taranahika ganam. In this way, the Lord created unlimited number of universes. This one universe which I have seen, there is one only. But there are innumerable universes that is created. Yaha mahasasta purush mahavishnu naam ananta brahmandatar lomakupedha. Now, the expansion of Krsna, who is doing all these material expansion, he is known as Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu. गवाक्खे उड़िया जई छे रेणु भाषे आशे जाए पुरुष निश्वासे सह ब्रह्मांड बहिरा. Here is a nice example. You have seen this sunshine entering your room through a hole of your window, and you will find so many atomic demonstrations. So these Brahmandas, these so many universes, they are emanating from the breathing of Mahavishnu in that way. Punarapi nishasah jayabhantare ananta isajyatar sam mayapa. In this way, all the universes, they enter into the body of Mahavishnu after the creation is over, and again comes out. In this way it is coming and going, coming. Bhutta bhutta praliyat. In the Bhagavad Gita it is said that they are coming and going within. This is the way of material nature. And here is another evidence from Brahma Samhita. Jassaika nishyasatakalamatavalambya jivanti loma vilaja jagadannanatha Vishnu mahan sayajas sakala visesha govindamadi purusam tamaham nayami. Now, such a vast, gigantic Mahavishnu, of whose breathing producing these universes, and whose inhaling, annihilating all the universes, such vast Mahavishnu is only a part and part of the expansion of Krishna, Govinda. So, Brahma says, Govindamadi Purusam Tamaham Bhajami. So just we have to imagine how much potential is the Lord Krishna. Thank you, gracious.